Hey folks, it's Patriot Nurse, and in today's segment, I'm coming to you live freshly wounded. If you have weak stomachs, now will be an excellent time to turn away. This is an absorbent pad that I have been using for about the past 5 minutes. What ended up happening, I had an accident, and I want this to serve as the teaching point so that you guys have something to go by. Mistake number one was I had stored a very large glass bowl up above my refrigerator, and when I opened the freezer door, it pulled with it the bowl, and it actually fell on my head. This broke on my head, and I was protected big time because it could have easily slid down my face and gashed me up really good. Instead, what happened was it broke on my head, which hurt. I was a little dizzy, but it wasn't too bad. It broke on my head, and then it slid down this finger. And it actually hit my ring finger as well, but it's mainly the middle finger, and it's still bleeding, and it's been bleeding for about 15 minutes. So right now, actually, I'm just gonna let it clean itself out because I don't want to do any more damage to that wound. And the first thing I did actually was just lightly step away from the glass. There was shattered glass everywhere on the floor. So I had to make sure that I didn't get more injuries on my feet, and get over to the sink here, and I just ran some warm water over it and kept doing that. And I feel like that's a really good thing to do just at first, so that you can get your wits about you, because it is a little bit startling. And then I went and actually got these bandages, and what's interesting is I am developing these as a package in concert with a small business owner, a woman-owned business. I'm developing these reusable bandages for long-term disaster scenarios. They're not technically bandages, they are absorbent pads. So, but I actually ended up demoing them because they were the first clean thing that I knew I could find, and they're working very well right now. I'm gonna reassess this fresh wound here. It looks not deep enough. I don't think it went down to the bone, but my nail bed actually is what ended up stopping it. So what I'm going to do now is just kind of show you what the next step is in caring for this wound. There we go. Okay, so what I want you guys to see is there's the gash. Okay, it's actually done a good job of clotting off right now, and my hands are still a little bit bloody. That's okay. They're clean, definitely clean. There's also a secondary gash back here. It's not that big of a deal. That one just will require a band-aid. So what I'm going to have to do, there's a couple of steps to wound care that we need to be cognizant of. I need to make sure that I'm going to keep this clean. There we go, depth of field. So what I'm going to do is to make sure that I keep this clean, and also that I dress it, because it's not enough just to have a wound that's open and clean. We got to make sure that it doesn't get infected, right? So wow, that's really trippy. No, it wasn't hemorrhagic, by the way. It wasn't a ton of blood loss. It was just a little bit wonky. Oh yeah, depth of field. That's really cool. So that's what Patriot Nurse's finger looks like, nice and slashed. Wow. And what we're gonna do now is dress it and put some stuff on it. So now what we're gonna do, now that we've stopped the bleeding and we've made sure that this is relatively clean, I'm just gonna wash it one more time, and then what I'm gonna do is put some honey on it. And the reason why I like honey is because it forms a perfect little boundary here. It blocks out the air so that aerobic bacteria don't get a foothold, and then it forms actually a really neat barrier, mimicking the skin's natural integrity, and it creates a moist, happy place for healing to happen, but not a moist, happy place that bacteria like to live. Okay, so let's do this. Yay! I get excited with wounds. I don't like nasty wound care. Oh god, yeah, that burns. Probably should be using saline right now, but I'm gonna be lazy just because there's only one of me. This is what, okay, so if there's ever a testimony to actually training more than one person, this is a great example. If your medic goes down, somebody's gotta be able to take care of them, okay? So I like to tell this to my students a lot. When you come to class, bring your husband and bring your wife, and the families need to train together. That is part of this. Okay. This is low tech, y'all. I have to sterilize stuff because this is not a sterile procedure. Okay. what I do have here, let's not re-injure ourselves. I got raw honey. Raw honey. Happy, happy, happy. And what I'm actually going to do here is sort of lovingly dollop it on. This skin, what's probably going to happen here is the top layer is going to die off. It looks kind of like a blister does. Top layer is going to die off. Yeah, don't double dip on this one. You can double dip on other things, but not with wound care. And even the double dipping on some things is arguable. Okay, so I got this thing right here. Yes, Patriot Nurse is flicking off the camera. What I'm actually going to do for just the immediate time on the tip of this finger is to put a little baggie over it. And what I'll do, you know, I'm just going to get some scissors and I'm going to cut off everything but this little corner down here and just kind of shove my finger up in there, and then I'm just going to use rubber bands to anchor it on. But I'm not going to keep it so tight that it's cutting off blood flow downstream. So aren't you lucky? You get to come and hang out with Patriot Nurse in her kitchen and look at nasty wounds and make desserts that you never knew existed. So this is what we've got, y'all. Right here, I just cut off the corner of the little plastic bag, and I had put the honey on here in a good amount, so that way when I inserted it into the bag, it didn't smear all the way up. So what I've got here, this little bag, this is the edge of a little sandwich bag. So I'm just gonna wrap it around like this. If I decided I didn't want to use rubber bands after the fact, you can if you want to, but you get to bust out your fun tape. This is my favorite tape, actually. It's transport tape, and I'll put a link down in the description box below because it is awesome. However, like many things, I don't believe that it was meant to be run one-handed. This is a great testimony, actually, to running your gun one-handed. It's interesting all the things that happen when we find ourselves in need of healthcare. Okay, tear that. We go back to reality. So you can see at this point it's still bleeding just a wee little bit, but for the most part it's clotted off, and I'm okay with that because really if I put a standard dressing on this wound with the honey, it will for the most part just absorb the honey. It won't allow the honey to do its job, right, sitting next to the wound. So this is the nice thing about using a saran wrap or a cellophane wrap or even a sandwich baggie for it. Because this way I've got the honey in there. I made sure that it's clotted off. I'd been cleaning it out with warm water beforehand, but it was bleeding so profusely that it was kind of cleaning itself from the inside out. So there. Ha 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 ha. Just kidding. Right there, friends. That's how we get her done. I hope you got something out of the video today. I wanted my experience to serve as a learning experience for sure. And it's not every day that I actually get a live tissue willing donor to be able to practice on and show you guys something. So that right there was a little bit of improvised wound care using honey. I really like honey. I'm a big fan of honey with a variety of different types of wounds, including burns, pressure ulcers, lots of different types. So I hope that was helpful for y'all. And let this be a learning experience and serve as a warning sign. Do not store large pieces of glassware above your head where they can fall. It's funny, I just got back in town a couple of days ago, and you know, when you're on the road as much as I am, you get home, whoa, hello, there's like a huge thing of blood against my fridge. When you get home, you know, you're kind of running on autopilot for the first couple of days, you know, doing laundry, trying to get stuff together, answering, you know, business emails and things like that. But that's a good lesson, and I'm really blessed right now because it could have been much worse. I could have gotten real cut up on my face, but instead just one finger. So I hope it was helpful for y'all today. If you would like to learn more about wound care and other fun things, come out to class. I'm actually fixing to leave and head out to Camden, Tennessee here in a little bit. So Camden, Tennessee, Medical Prep 101, 201. We got Philadelphia, White Plains, New York, Manchester, New Hampshire. Where else are we going? Lexington, Kentucky, Yakima, Washington, Lakeland, Florida, Denver, Colorado. Denver's, that's the last class I'm going to be out anywhere close towards the middle of the country this year. It'll be a great time. However, I can't promise you that I'm going to have live tissue there. I hope it was helpful for y'all, and for now it's Patriot Nurse signing off, and I'll see y'all later. Bye. Oh boy, careful now. Let's not create two problems here when we're operating functionally one-handed. Whoops, nice. Hold the camera and don't flip it over. Damn it.